Hello and welcome to SFG Top Performance. My name is Bo Smith. With me today I have Kent, Mark, and Scott. And Mark, can you start us off and tell us a little bit about the grain markets and what they've been doing lately?
Sure, Bo. It's been a pretty exciting time to be a grain farmer again. We've been through several years of down markets. Today, locally, cash corn bids are in the 475 to 480 range. Beans were up above $13. I don't think we thought that was possible 4 months ago prior to harvest. We've put in almost a $5 increase in the price of beans. So it's been very good for the people that are still owning the beans. Farm ownership is low. A lot of beans got sold off the combine this fall. And so, they're in the hands of the commercials. And sometimes that's when we see the best increases in prices is once the farmers have give up ownership. New crop prices, a lot of talk about that, a lot of questions. Currently, the corn's in the 390 range roughly for local cash bids. Beans around $11. And that's starting to spark a little bit of interest. And of course, people think with $13 old beans, how come new crop is 11? Well, this morning there's a $2.08 inverse from March contract to November, and so we've got to overcome some of that. The other thing that's making things a little exciting right now, basis levels are better than normal on the farm side. That tells us there's a huge demand out there for our crops, and I look for that to continue through most of the season. Some of the things in Iowa that's affecting that, the derecho took out a lot of corn acres in that central Iowa area. That's maybe starving the Cedar Rapids corn market some. So they're down here in our neck of the woods or the northern part of our neck of the woods, trying to source some corn. That means our plants in this area are having to bid up a little more than normal, and I think that'll continue. Next week, January 12th, USDA releases their January WADC report. It's always an important report, and it'll be that way this year. It'll give us our final 2020 yield estimates. It'll also have a current stock position report, shows us where our expected carryouts are, and everybody expects both corn and bean carryouts to be reduced a little more, so that's important. It'll also give us maybe a snapshot of a future stock estimates as we go on down the road. We won't see any planning and intentions report from the USDA until sometime in March. So between now and then, there's a good chance we'll see an acre war, and we'll have both corn and beans are going to have to maybe prove that they can garner more acres. And of course, you do that by offering more money. So what else is driving the market? Well, again, exports is a big thing. Both corn and beans were over 1 billion ahead of normal, 1 billion more bushels each, corn and beans, than normal for this time. And we're still early in the marketing season, so that's pretty dramatic. And that demand's not only coming from China, but from our normal trading partners, Mexico, Japan, and others. This morning, there's a rumor out that China might even be looking for some U.S. beans for the July-August timeframe. August is about the time they normally come back to us. July is on the early side, and of course, with our stocks being on the low end of the spectrum, that could mean we could see some tremendous prices and basis levels both for summer beans. China's also continuing to buy some corn off and on. They pretty much ran through their stocks, their domestic stocks here in the last year. Today, on their so-called border trade, the Dalian exchange, corn reached an all-time high. So that means they're hungry for corn. They're putting their hog production back in order. That means they're going to have a need for a lot of feed corn in the future. For the next 5 months, that's going to come from us. We've got the supply. So it could be a very good thing for us. Crude oil, it's trading back above $50, and that's a plus because that'll help support the ethanol industry a little more as we go forward. Some negatives to watch out for: high prices sometimes cure high prices, but we may see a slower domestic demand. Sometimes when corn gets high, cattle producers look for the wheat market to get some cheap feed wheat. Wheat is, fortunately, it's going up too, so that's not as big of an alternative, but they will do what they can to find alternate feed sources. A big thing right now is the continued fear of a COVID lockdown and what that would do not only to our economy, but also to the ag spectrum. And it could disrupt things like it did back last spring when it first hit. And maybe the last thing I'll touch on is as prices go up in our country and around the world, we face the threat of increased foreign production. And, they continue to clear acres down in South America to raise more crops every year. So as we go forward, that's always something we got to watch out for, that we maintain our market share. And we got to do it. I'm not a big proponent ever of set-aside programs in this country, because about all we do is allow someone else to take them acres away from us in the world. So I think we need to continue to maximize our production in this country and continue to be the dominant feed producer in the world. That's kind of it in a nutshell, Bo.
Yep. All that stuff's very interesting, so that's good. But to change gears to the feed side, winter's kind of come along. The snow's not really been our best friend, and we've been selling a lot of, no, I can't really see it, selling a lot of these. These are heaters. This one in particular is meant not to go in your water tank, but below your water tank to keep your water tanks from freezing up. I actually went to a customer's house, and I'd never seen this before, but he had a wood burning one, and thought that was very interesting. But this heater in particular can also be used as a space heater. So during calving season, if you have a sick calf, instead of using a heat lamp, which I believe this item would be a little bit more safe. And another thing that we're kind of selling here lately is ice melt. Ice melt, we've been literally selling it pallets at a time, and everybody's kind of needing it. So, Kent, can you tell us what's going on here this time of year for cattle?
Well, we're getting closer and closer to calving time. I want to talk about two products in particular that I think is vital. Everybody should have in their toolbox before the first calf hits the ground. The first it's called OptiPrime. It's a colostrum milk replacer and supplement. It provides, we've been talking for weeks and months about feeding, making sure that our cattle are receiving adequate nutrition so that they can produce a good, healthy calf and good quality colostrum. But for some reason or another, sometimes that calf doesn't get that colostrum in that critical 2 to 3 hour after birthing. So we might have to provide some help to them. And this product is called, like I said, OptiPrime milk replacer, or not milk replacer, but the colostrum replacer. I just put the full package in with 2 quarts of warm water and feed it to the calf. And it provides all the nutrients and immunoglobulins that calf needs to get started. Also, especially like the first calf heifer, sometimes we're not aware of how much colostrum the calf got, and maybe what the colostrum quality might not be quite as good. So you could add that as a supplement as well, where you just use half a package with a quart of water to help support that calf. Another product that we are carrying, it's called OptiCalf Paste, and it's a tube that basically it provides microbial nutrition to restore the favorable balance in the intestinal tract of that calf. It's excellent for scour control, and basically all you do is use a full tube, put it on the back of the calf's tongue, and maybe within 24 hours later you re-tube it again. and basically it takes care of the scour issue. Last year was our first year that we used it. We had a lot of people try it, and we kept real close watch to see how people's reaction of the they received the product, and I think almost 100% of them came back and got more. So it works. So it's something to have. But both these products are something that, I think you should have on hand before the first calf hits the ground, because, you don't want a calf that's needing the colostrum and you have to run to town and pick something up. So those are two products that, like I said, is that time of the year that we should probably be looking at. Something else too is this time of year, maybe take a good look at some feed tubs, whether the cows are still out on stocks or they're on a pasture situation getting hay. If they need maybe a little extra help getting that condition onto her before they calve, and need a little extra protein, nutrients. We've got a full array of feed tubs available that can basically match about any situation you might have. So just some things that maybe we should take a look at now and going forward. So that's about it.
Yeah. And with those two products that you mentioned, the OptiPaste and the OptiPrime, the shelf life of those is over a year. So it's a good tool to have in your utility belt there, and you could have it for a very long time. So and that paste is only like $6.20 a tube, so it's not like it's something a major investment, but it sure is a big investment as far as keeping that calf down. So for sure. So Scott, we'll move on to you. Can you tell us anything that's been going on in our northern division or any news in the feed business?
Yeah, Bo. Here lately, we've had a couple customers call and ask about our Sport Mix dog food. Apparently, there was a recall on it. We'd just like people to know that recall was from a plant in Oklahoma, and all of our dog food comes from a plant in Illinois. We have went through and changed or checked all the lot numbers to make sure they don't match up with what's on their list. And all of our food is safe and it's good to buy. That's all I got for you, Bo.
Yep. And if anybody has any questions on that sports mix, I can feel free to contact me here at the Albany location, and I can include you in on that. But I think I'm going to end it here for today. So yet again, this is SFG Top Performance for the feed grain side.